I want to offer a retirement plan to my employees, but it's all so complicated. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. You know, if you're an employer offering a 401k plan for the first time, there are all sorts of important factors to understand, including the setup process, regulatory responsibilities, and ongoing plan maintenance. So sure, offering a 401k can be a great benefit to employees, but it also comes with legal and administrative obligations. Now, this is a great time to remind you that this information is for general purposes only. I'm not an attorney or financial expert. I don't even play one on TV. So, this is absolutely not to be considered tax or legal advice. Okay, onward. First things first, what exactly is a 401k? Well, let's break it down. A 401k is a retirement savings plan sponsored by an employer. It's named after the section of the Internal Revenue Code that created it back in 1978, but don't worry, you don't need to memorize tax codes to understand how it works. At its core, a 401k is just a financial program that allows employees to save and invest for their future. Here's where it gets really interesting. There's more than one type of 401k. So let's talk about the three main types. The traditional 401k. This is the granddaddy of 401k plans, and there's a good reason. It's the most common type. Here's how it works and why it's so popular. The big draw of a traditional 401k is the upfront tax break. When employees contribute to this type of plan, they're using pre-tax dollars. But what does that really mean? Well, imagine one of your employees, we'll call her Sarah, makes $60,000 a year. Sarah decides to contribute 10% of her salary to her traditional 401k. That's $6,000 a year or $500 a month. And that $6,000 comes out of her paycheck before taxes are calculated. So as far as the IRS is concerned, Sarah only made $54,000 this year. Now that has two immediate benefits. One, Sarah's taxable income is reduced, which means she'll pay less in income taxes this year. And two, she's able to invest more money than she could if she was investing after-tax dollars. It's kind of like the government is giving Sarah a discount on her retirement savings. But here's where the catch comes in, and it's important that both you and your employees understand this. Because the tax man will always get his due, when Sarah reaches retirement age and starts withdrawing money from her traditional 401k, she'll need to pay income taxes on those withdrawals. Why? Well, because she got a tax break when she put the money in, so she has to pay taxes when she takes it out. It's essentially a tax deferral strategy. Now, this can still be advantageous. Many people find themselves in a lower tax bracket during retirement than they were during their working years. So Sarah might end up paying less in taxes overall by deferring them to retirement. But there's also more to consider. The money in a traditional 401k grows tax deferred. This means that while it's in the account, any interest, dividends, or capital gains, well, they aren't taxed. This allows for potentially faster growth compared to a taxable investment account. Another important point, traditional 401ks are subject to required minimum distributions. That means that starting at age 72, anyone who has an account has to start withdrawing a certain amount each year, whether they need the money or not. This is the government's way of making sure that they eventually get those deferred taxes. So, who might benefit most from a traditional 401k? Employees who expect to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement. Employees who want to lower their current taxable income. Employees who want to delay paying taxes on their retirement savings. Now, as an employer, offering a traditional 401k can be an amazing benefit. It allows your employees to reduce their current tax burden while still saving for the future. And remember, any matching contributions that you make as an employer, well, they also go into the account pre-tax. And here's a pro tip. While traditional 401ks are the most common, it doesn't mean they're the only option or the best fit for everyone. That's why many employers are now offering both traditional and Roth 401k options, giving employees the flexibility to choose based on their individual financial situations and retirement goals. So what, you say, is a Roth 401k? It's a relatively newer kid on the block. It's kind of like the traditional 401k's rebellious younger sibling who likes to do things a little bit differently. With a Roth 401k, employees make contributions with after-tax dollars. And what does that mean? Well, let's go back to our friend Sarah, who makes $60,000 a year and wants to contribute 10% to her 401k. Now, if Sarah chooses the Roth option, her $6,000 contribution comes out of her paycheck after taxes have been calculated. So, unlike with the traditional 401k, her taxable income for the year will stay at $60,000. So she's paying taxes on that $6,000 now. You might be thinking, wait a minute, why would anyone choose to pay taxes now when they could put it off? Well, here's where the Roth 401k really shines. When Sarah reaches retirement and starts taking money out of her Roth 401k, she won't owe a single penny in taxes, not on her contributions, and not on any of the growth her investments have seen over the years. Just let that sink in for a moment. All that compound growth over decades, tax-free. That's effectively planting a money tree and never having to pay taxes on the fruit it bears. And this can be a huge advantage, especially for younger employees or those who expect their income and their tax bracket to be higher in retirement. If Sarah believes tax rates are going to go up in the future, or if she expects to be earning more in retirement, maybe from things like investments or pensions, well, paying taxes now at her current rate could save her a bundle down the road. Another big plus of the Roth 401k, there are no income limits for participation. So even your highest paid employees can take advantage of this option. Now, here's a nugget of information that often surprises people. If you, as an employer, offer a match on 401k contributions, and kudos to you if you do, that match will always go into a traditional 401k, even if the employee is contributing to a Roth. Why? Well, because the match is considered employer money, and it hasn't been taxed yet. So, who might benefit most from a Roth 401k? Well, younger employees who have time to let tax-free growth work its magic, those who expect to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement, employees who want more tax diversification in retirement, or people who want the option to leave a tax-free inheritance. And finally, there's the Safe Harbor 401k. Now, this is the 401k plan's VIP option, and it's designed with a specific purpose in mind, getting around the non-discrimination testing. So, what are these non-discrimination tests that I'm talking about? Well, the IRS wants to make sure that 401k plans benefit all employees, not just the higher paid ones. So, they require most 401k plans to pass annual tests to prove that they're not favoring the big earners. These tests can be complex, time-consuming, and if you fail them, potentially costly to correct. Enter stage left, the Safe Harbor 401k. It's designed to automatically pass these non-discrimination tests. It's kind of like getting a hall pass from the IRS. It sounds great, right? Well, it can be. But there's a catch, of course. In exchange for this safe harbor from testing, you, the employer, are required to make contributions to your employees' accounts. Not just any contributions. They need to be substantial and immediately vested. This means the money you contribute is immediately 100% owned by your employees. Now, there are a few ways you can structure these contributions. Things like non-elective contributions, where you contribute 3% of each eligible employee's compensation, regardless of whether they contribute to the plan themselves. It's kind of like giving everyone a 3% raise, but it goes straight into their 401k. Then there's the basic match. You match 100% of the first 3% of compensation that an employee contributes, plus 50% of the next 2%. So, if an employee contributes 5% of their salary, you're kicking in 4%. And then there's the enhanced match. This has a few requirements around it, but one of the most common formulas we see is you match at least 100% of the first 4% of compensation that an employee contributes. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that sounds expensive. And you're not wrong. Safe harbor plans do require a significant financial commitment from you as the employer. But before you run for the hills, let's talk about why you might consider it. It's simpler. With a safe harbor plan, you can say goodbye to the stress and complexity of annual non-discrimination testing. There are higher contribution limits for highly compensated employees. Without the restrictions imposed by failed non-discrimination tests, your higher paid employees, often including owners and executives, can max out their contributions. It helps attract and retain talent. A guaranteed employer contribution can be a powerful recruiting and retention tool. Excellent tax benefits. Your safe harbor contributions are tax deductible for your business. It forces you to save. If you're the type of business owner who struggles to save for retirement because you're always reinvesting in your business, a safe harbor plan ensures you're setting aside money for the future. Safe harbor 401k plans can be particularly attractive for small businesses where owners want to maximize their own contributions without the worry of failing non-discrimination tests. They're also great for companies with low participation rates among rank and file employees. But here's the kicker, and it's important to understand this. Once you've started a safe harbor 401k, you're generally committed to making those contributions for the full year. You can't just change your mind halfway through because cash is tight. So, is a safe harbor 401k right for your business? Well, that depends on your specific situation. But here's some questions that you should consider. Are you currently struggling to pass non-discrimination tests? Do you have the cash flow to support mandatory contributions? Are your highly compensated employees, including yourself, limited in how much that they can contribute to the current plan? Would a guaranteed employer contribution help with employee recruitment and retention? Remember, offering a safe harbor 401k is a big decision. It's not just about the money. It's about your company culture, your long-term financial strategy, and your commitment to your employees' financial well-being. My advice? Well, run the numbers, talk to your financial advisor or a benefits consultant, consider your business goals and your workforce needs. A safe harbor 401k can be a powerful tool, but like any tool, it needs to be the right fit for the job at hand. Now, another pro tip, if you decide to go the safe harbor route, make sure your employees understand the value of what you're offering. This isn't just another benefit, it's a significant investment in their future. Communicate it clearly and you might just find that it becomes one of your most appreciated employee benefits. Now remember, there's no one-size-fits-all answer in retirement planning. But if you provide these choices, you're not just offering a retirement plan. You're empowering your employees to take control of their financial future. And that, my fellow entrepreneurs, is how you build a loyal, engaged, and financially savvy workforce. Now, in next week's episode, we'll talk about what you need to do to actually set up a plan. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.